Hello, it's Rafael Gutierrez. Welcome to our channel again. Today I'm trying to find out how to block out the light from behind me. As I mentioned last time, I'm in the middle of doing some construction on my place, and so our place is a bit of a mess. Now, that said, there are a lot of things I actually did want to talk about, but before I do, I want to mention that if you are in San Diego during summer, I am teaching a martial art class at San Diego City College, starting on the 18th of June, as well as a nutrition class starting at the 18th of June also. Now, one of the different big things with doing a martial art class in City College is it's not just, I don't just do okay, you're going to punch, kick, do kata. I also will end up going into a lot of the biomechanics that are involved in the martial arts to understand pretty much what people are doing. This is a little different than how most people teach beginning classes, because in beginning classes, usually you're just trying to get the basic movements. I want them to understand the why, as these are college students. So if you're around and actually have a couple 8 weeks to kill, consider taking the class. If not, well, hopefully I'll get a chance to meet with you guys later. The other thing I actually want to talk about is something that I see over and over again, and that is a lot of people giving themselves titles which they did not earn. I actually was looking, a friend of mine invited me to a seminar it was actually outside the city, so not a big, I'm not going to be able to go, wouldn't have been able to go anyways, but the person presented themselves as Dr. So-and-so. Now, I try to figure out where they got their doctorate in, and as I looked, they didn't have a degree in anything. They actually claimed to have extensively studied biology, the human body in a Western standpoint, as well as extensive studying in Chinese medicine. Now, there is a Chinese medicine doctorate, and if someone gets a Chinese medicine doctorate, then that really is what they should actually be claiming. This person didn't have, as far as I could tell, they didn't talk to about any school or any place that they did a doctorate in Chinese medicine, which is I feel is bad for Chinese medicine, because it's people who don't know the subject as well as they should, claiming they have a doctorate in that subject. This person also had claimed to do extensive research on Western human anatomy. Well, the truth is, there is just human anatomy. There's not Western and Eastern. There might be variations between ethnic groups, but they're small variations, not really something that would require extensive study in, unless you're dealing with specific diseases, which work on a specific group, and in that case, usually you're dealing with genetics. So he's not the first. Like I said, he's not the first person that I've seen do this. I've actually come across a lot of people. One person went as far as starting their own university. I should put that in quotes, giving himself a doctorate, and so now he's a doctor in something. And so one of the big problems that happens with titles is they are worth something. Obviously, someone wouldn't lie about having a degree in something if they didn't have the backing to show it off. Now, one thing I would tell people, because there was another gentleman who actually did have a doctorate in Chinese medicine who is doing a seminar, and he actually just put doctor, but didn't put it was in Chinese medicine. I would recommend, if you have a doctorate and you are doing a seminar and putting a doctor behind your name, you may want to put a blurb somewhere, doctor in Chinese medicine, doctor in philosophy, doctor in law, just because that way people understand that, yes, you are someone who's earned a degree in a specific discipline and know that discipline as an expert. Now, if you are using doctor and you haven't, I would actually recommend, if you do have the knowledge, you don't need to put the doctor behind you. Just use the knowledge that you have. There's actually a lot of great people. There's actually great martial artists who do seminars. They don't claim to be doctors or anything, but they have the information, and people respect them for the information they are able to give. It's not about well, look at me, I'm a doctor. It's about, look, okay, I may not have a doctorate, but I did the research and know how to do it. I don't have to give myself a doctor. I did give myself a doctor. I actually did earn one and have a medical doctor. So one of the things I did want to also talk about is realism in training. And what I mean by that, for that I'm going to grab a screwdriver back here, is this. A lot of times when people are doing self-defense against knives or guns, they have the knife or gun right or weapon right in front of the person. So someone stands and they're like this, and no, give me your wallet. Now most people will tell you the person who's actually waving around a knife or a screwdriver is not going to tell you, give me your wallet, and going to be one who's going to necessarily attack. So the person who's just standing here, give me your wallet, they're probably just going to take your wallet and let you go on your merry way. Probably. There are some people who will probably attack. If you actually start looking at how knife attacks happen, especially the ones that end up needing medical treatments, what usually happens is the person didn't even see the knife. If you actually go into reports, the CDC reports, and you go into PubMed and start looking at case studies, you usually hear stories that, I mean, some of them are, I didn't know I got hit until I looked at my hands and saw I was bleeding. There also are places that people hit with knives more commonly. Now, the whole attack of coming down with the knife like this, a la Psycho, for those of you who like film, you'll notice that it's not really realistic. Hand someone a toy knife. If you teach, give it to a student and tell them, look, you want to attack this person and your goal is to stab them. You don't want them to see the knife. You just want to take them out. Ask them to attack the person. What you'll have really close and a stab. That's actually how stabs actually function. That's actually how most puncture wounds actually function. It's people not showing. They don't want to show off. Say, hey, look, here's my weapon. Karate is actually in many ways the same thing. Kian actually made a comment. Kian Sensei made a comment about how martial arts and a fist are like a great treasure. You keep it hidden. Idea meaning you don't come out and, say someone's going to attack you, come out and get in a fighting stance. You keep yourself calm, relaxed. You don't show what you're trying to do until the last minute. Now, that's actually one of the things that I would tell you with self-defense weapons. There are actually a lot of great self-defense weapons that come out from the past. A lot of people don't realize it because they just, they're looking at weapons as in dueling. Ha! I got my weapon here and I'm going to duel with you. Self-defense weapons are not for showing off. They're not for scaring people. They're actually for, there's a problem, I use it, and I get away quick. Yes, there is something where, well, if someone is being aggressive, you can show a weapon and it might scare them off. But do you want to rely on a might? Especially when you're actually losing your advantage, which is surprise. Now, I'm actually using a screwdriver for a lot of reasons. One of the most important self-defense weapons that I have found, especially for women, is called a jiffa. And a jiffa actually goes, pretty much they tie their hair back and the jiffa goes in the hair to hold it in place. Now my hair is not long enough for a jiffa, so I'll hold it here so you can see. Now if you actually go in the videos and you look at jiffa that I have, you'll notice that there's a little girl I teach who in one move grabs and stabs. That's actually how self-defense weapon should be. It should be, as soon as it comes out, it's fighting a target. It shouldn't be pronounced out there. Now some people say, well, isn't that a concealed weapon? And I would say, well, a jiffa is a hairpin, so it's a weapon of opportunity. Sticks are also a big thing. If you take a bow, a lot of people, okay, you're going to get into the position and aim here. Well, no, a bow is, you have the bow and it comes to you. You'll notice that some katas start from here, holding the bow here, to just coming up, just hitting. It's not a set up and then come in. It's coming, if something's coming, you actually use what you have available for you. Now, that actually tells you a couple things. One is, it teaches you to expect something a little different. How often, if you are training to say, look, I'm going to pull out the jiffa from my head and stab in one move, and one thing, if you take anatomy, you can find different areas that most people don't even think of hitting, which will cause either pain, which I'm not a big fan of pain compliance, or it will cause a damage that the person will have to stop immediately. And so that's one of the big things that ends up happening. Now, I am going to actually I'm using a screwdriver, and that can be a self-defense weapon of opportunity. If you think about it, if you work in a shop, or if you're in your home, you have screwdrivers everywhere. Again, it's not about showing your weapon. It's about, as soon as the the need becomes available, it's there. You have to remember when you train, especially if you're training in Kobudo or any weapons, that there's a way you do stuff to showcase a weapon. For instance, in movies, you want to show the weapon and show that you're going to be able to move these flashing moves. In reality, if you look at the studies that are done by CDC and knife or stabs, you notice that things that require medical attention are quick, and a lot of people didn't even see what actually hit them. And so that's what I'm going to say here. I am going to do this a little bit in Spanish. I just wanted to talk about the pretty much. I'm going to use this, but I will eventually talk about the jiffa in Spanish. I'll probably do it next time I'm seeing my time. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it's something that you can use in your training. Remember, when you're actually training against weapons, don't necessarily train as the person who's showing you the weapon. Remember, that person you might be able to get away with cheaply just giving the wallet. Train also from the weapon not being shown until the last minute. I hope you enjoy this, and we'll have a nice day. Like I said, I will do this again in Spanish, so you may actually be able to see it there too. Goodbye.